You think you know what love looks like at 62. You think you understand trust. Then you find out your girlfriend legally adopted you like a stray dog, and suddenly you're questioning every kiss, every meal she cooked, every time she called. You darling. I wasn't her boyfriend. I was her dependent. If our stories resonate with you, don't forget to like, comment, and tell us where you're watching from. This story was shared with us by one of our longtime viewers from Seattle. He asked us not to share his full name, but he wanted other expats to hear what really happened. I'm standing in the Bangkok immigration office, sweating through my polo shirt, watching Amporn argue with the officer in rapid Thai. She's waving a folder of documents, her voice getting sharper. I don't understand a word, but I can feel the tension radiating from her small frame. The officer keeps glancing at me, then back at her papers. Something's wrong. I've been living here for 8 months and Amporn always handles the visa stuff. She's an insurance broker. She knows the system better than I do. What's going on? I finally ask. She turns to me, and for the first time since I've known her, she looks genuinely scared. Nothing, baby, just paperwork problem. But the officer is staring at me now like I'm some kind of puzzle he can't solve. He says something in Thai, and Amporn's face goes pale. She grabs my arm. We go now, she says. What about my visa extension? Later, we go. In the taxi back to her apartment, I keep asking questions, but she just stares out the window. Her hands are shaking. Amporn never shakes. That night, I'm going through her desk looking for aspirin when I find the folder. The same one from the immigration office. I shouldn't look, but something about today felt off. I flip it open. The documents are in Thai, but there are English translations stapled to the back. Tourist visa, extension application, and then something that makes my stomach drop. Adoption certificate. My name is on it. Dale Morrison. Age 62. Father, unknown. Mother, unknown. Legal guardian, Amporn Srisawat. I read it 3 times. The date is from 6 months ago, right after I moved in with her. Dale, what you doing? Amporn's standing in the doorway, and she looks like she's seen a ghost. I hold up the adoption papers. What the hell is this? She doesn't answer, just stands there, frozen. Amporn, why does this say you adopted me? I can explain. You adopted me like I'm your child? It's not what you think. But I'm already spiraling. 8 months of cooking for me, doing my laundry, handling my money, making my appointments. Not like a girlfriend, like a mother. How long have I been your legal dependent, I ask. She starts crying. And that's when I know this isn't just about paperwork. This is about something much deeper, something that's going to change everything. I thought I knew about us. Sit down, she says, please. I don't want to sit, I want answers. But Amporn looks so small standing there in her nightgown, tears streaming down her cheeks, that I sink into the couch anyway. You remember when you came here? She asks. You had no money, no plan. You were living in that terrible hostel. I remember. Divorced, pension barely covering Seattle rent, desperate for something different. Bangkok seemed exotic, cheap, full of possibilities. I helped you find apartment, helped you open bank account, helped you with everything. Yeah, and I was grateful, but that doesn't explain why you adopted me. She sits across from me, wrapping her arms around her knees. Immigration system very complicated here. Tourist. Visa only 3 months, then extension. Very expensive, very uncertain. So, dependent visa different. If Thai citizen have foreign dependent, they can stay long time. No questions. The pieces are starting to fit together, and I don't like the picture they're making. You mean I've been living here illegally? No. Everything legal. But adoption? Make it easier, make it permanent. Without telling me? I was going to tell you. When? She doesn't answer. I'm pacing now, my mind racing. What else don't I know? What other papers did you sign for me? Dale, please understand. What? Other papers, Amporn. She goes to her desk, pulls out another folder. Bank documents, insurance forms, even a will. My will. Leaving everything to her. You forged my signature. I practice your handwriting, to help you, to protect you. From what? From system. from people who take advantage of old foreign men, from being alone. But I am alone. That's what I'm realizing. I've been living in a carefully constructed lie for 8 months, and I never even noticed. Every kindness, every gesture of love, was any of it real? How many other men have you done this to? The question hangs in the air like smoke. Amporn looks up at me, and I see something flicker across her face. Guilt, fear, or just calculation? You think I'm criminal, she whispers. I don't know what you are anymore. She starts crying harder. I love you, Dale. That's real. Everything else just paperwork, but paperwork has power. And I'm starting to understand just how powerless I've become. I don't sleep that night. Instead, I'm going through everything, emails, bank statements, visa documents, trying to piece together what's real and what's been managed for me. The next morning, Amporn is up early making breakfast like nothing happened. Pad Thai with extra peanuts, the way I like it. Fresh mango juice. She's humming. We need to talk, I say, after breakfast. Eat first. But I can't eat. I'm watching her move around the kitchen, and suddenly every gesture looks different. The way she cuts my food into smaller pieces, the way she sets out my vitamins, the way she checks my phone for messages. How many others? I ask again. She stops humming. What you mean? Other Western men. How many have you adopted? Only you. Don't lie to me. She turns around, spatula in hand. I never lie to you. But I'm thinking about her friends now. The other Thai women I've met through her. All of them with older Western boyfriends. All of them handling their men's paperwork, their money, their lives. What about Suda? Doesn't she have an American boyfriend? Yes. What about Niran? She's dating that British guy, right? Amporn's face is shutting down. That's their business. Is it the same business you're in? She sets the spatula down hard. You think I'm running scam? You think I don't care about you? I think you've been treating me like a child since the day we met. Because you need taking care of. You don't speak Thai. You don't understand visa rules. You don't know how things work here. That doesn't give you the right to adopt me. She throws the spatula into the sink. Fine. You want to handle everything yourself? Good luck. See how long you last without me. The threat is clear. And suddenly I understand why she's not worried about me leaving, because she holds all the cards. That afternoon I walk to Suda's apartment. She lives 2 blocks away with her American boyfriend, Tom. I've met him a few times. Retired teacher from California, about my age. Nice guy, seemed happy. Amporn introduced us at a barbecue last month. Dale. Suda opens the door with a bright smile. What brings you here? Is Tom around? I wanted to ask him something. She calls him over, and we sit on their balcony overlooking the street. Tom looks relaxed, content. He's wearing shorts and a Thai beer t-shirt. How's the visa situation? Treating you? I ask, trying to sound casual. Oh, Suda handles all that. Thank God, because I can't make heads or tails of the paperwork. What kind of visa are you on? Some kind of dependent status. Suda's my sponsor or something. Makes it easy. No hassle, no renewals every few months. My stomach drops. Dependent status? Yeah, she explained it to me. Since she's Thai, she can sponsor foreign dependents, like family members or whatever. Tom, I say carefully, do you know what that makes you legally? I don't know. Her boyfriend? Her partner? Her adopted son. The color drains from his face. What are you talking about? I explain what I found in Amporn's papers. Tom gets quieter and quieter. Finally, he goes inside and comes back with a folder. His hands are shaking as he flips through documents he clearly doesn't understand. Jesus Christ, he whispers, look at this. The same adoption certificate, same format. Tom Henderson, age 58. Legal guardian, Suda, pimp him. There's another guy, Tom says. British guy named Oliver. Lives with Niran in the complex down the street. I bet you anything. We walk to Oliver's building. When we explain the situation, his face goes white. Sure enough, same story. Adoption papers he never signed, never knew about. Within an hour, we found 2 more men in the same situation. All of us adopted by our Thai girlfriends, all of us living as legal dependents without realizing it. How many others do you think there are? Oliver asks. I don't know, I say, but this isn't random, this is organized. We're sitting in a coffee shop now, 5 middle-aged Western men who thought we'd found love in paradise. Instead, we've found something else entirely. So what do? Tom asks. I'm going to call the embassy, I say. This can't be legal. But even as I say it, I have a sinking feeling that everything about this is perfectly legal, which makes it so much worse. The next morning, I'm at the US Embassy at 8 a.m. sharp. The consular officer, a woman in her 40s named Sarah, listens to my story with a practiced expression of sympathy and exhaustion. Mr. Morrison, she says, I'm sorry to tell you this isn't the first time we've heard about this scheme. Scheme? Adoption visas for dependency status. It's become increasingly common in the past few years, targeting older Western men who don't understand the Thai legal system. But it's legal. Unfortunately, yes, Thai law allows citizens to adopt foreign adults for legitimate dependency purposes. The problem is, once you're adopted, your sponsor has significant legal control over your status here. What kind of control? She pulls out a pamphlet. As an adopted dependent, you cannot leave Thailand without your sponsor's permission. You cannot change your visa status without her consent. If she withdraws her sponsorship, you face immediate deportation. I feel like the floor is falling out from under me. So I'm trapped. Not trapped, but limited in your options. What about my assets? My bank accounts here? If she has power of attorney or co-signatory status on your accounts, which most of these women arrange, she controls access to your funds. Can I reverse the adoption? Theoretically, yes, but it requires going through Thai family court, which can take months or years. And if your sponsor contests it, which they usually do, you'd need to remain in the country for the duration of the proceedings. On what visa? That's the problem. Without her sponsorship, you'd have no legal basis to stay. I'm starting to understand the perfect trap that's been built around me. Amporn doesn't just control my heart. She controls my legal existence in Thailand. How many men are we talking about here, I ask. We estimate at least 50 to 60 cases in Bangkok alone, probably more who don't realize their situation. And these women, they coordinate. Sarah hesitates. We believe so, yes. There appears to be an informal network sharing information about vulnerable Western men and legal strategies for control. Jesus. Mr. Morrison, my advice is to be very careful about how you proceed. These women often have contingency plans if they're dependents. Try to leave. I walk home in a daze. When I get to the apartment, Amporn is waiting with lunch prepared and a concerned expression. Where you go this morning? She asks. Just for a walk. Very long walk. She knows. Somehow she knows exactly where I went and what I learned. Maybe she has friends at the embassy. Maybe she's been monitoring my movements. Maybe this whole conversation is part of her script. Dale, we need to talk. About what? About your future here. She sits beside me on the couch, takes my hand. Her touch feels different now, possessive rather than affectionate. I know you confused about adoption papers, she says. I know you scared. Shouldn't I be? No, because I love you. Because I want to take care of you forever. As your dependent. As my family. I pull my hand away. Amporn, I talk to the other guys, Tom, Oliver. We know what's going on. Her face hardens. What you think is going on? I think you and your friends have built a system to trap Western men. I think you identify lonely, vulnerable guys and slowly take control of their lives. You think I'm criminal? I think you're smart, maybe too smart. She stands up, walks to the window. When she turns back, there are tears in her eyes, but her voice is steady. You want to know truth, Dale? Real truth. Yes. You came here broken, divorced, alone. No money, no plan, no hope. You were living, in hostel like homeless person, drinking too much, talking about how life was over. That doesn't justify, I saved you, I gave you home, I gave you purpose, I made you happy. By lying to me, by protecting you, you think you could survive. Here alone? You think visa office would be kind to old American man with no sponsor? You think landlords would rent to you? Banks would trust you? Her English is getting better as she gets more emotional, like she's dropping an act. I made you safe, Dale. I made you legal, I made you loved. You made me your property. I made you my responsibility, and yes, maybe I get something too. Maybe I get companionship and help with my mother's medical bills, and someone who appreciates what I do. Is that so wrong? I'm staring at her, and for the first time, I'm seeing the real Amporn. Not the sweet, slightly broken English girlfriend, but a smart, calculating woman who's figured out how to survive in a world that doesn't give her many options. How many others, Amporn? Does it matter? It matters to me. 7, she says quietly, including you. 7 men you've adopted? No 7 men our group has helped. Suda, Niran, Kulap, Siriporn and me. We help men who need help. We get helped back. You make it sound like charity. Maybe it is charity. You think old Western men are only ones who get lonely. You think Thai women don't need security too. She's not wrong, but she's not right either. There's a difference between mutual support and systematically deceiving people about their legal status. Here's what's going to happen, she says, sitting back down. You can be angry, you can feel betrayed, but you can't leave. Why not? Because I control your visa. I control your bank accounts. I control your apartment lease. That's not control. That's imprisonment. Call it what you want. But if you try to leave Thailand, I withdraw my sponsorship. You get deported within 48 hours. You lose everything here. Your savings, your belongings, your right to return. And if I stay? We dissolve the adoption. We get married instead. You get spouse visa, more independence, but you also give me access to your US pension and property. I'm looking at her, and I realize she's offering me a choice between 2 different types of dependency, legal or financial, control or ownership. What if I refuse both? Then you leave with nothing and you never come back. She's not angry anymore. She's just matter of fact, like she's explaining the terms of a business contract, which I'm starting to understand is exactly what this has always been. I need time to think. Take all time you need. But remember, every day you think is another day I could change my mind about being generous. That night, I meet with Tom, Oliver, and the other guys at a bar in Sukhumvit. We're a pathetic sight. 5 middle-aged men who thought we'd found paradise and instead found ourselves in an elaborate cage. I talked to a lawyer, Oliver says. Thai lawyer. He confirmed what the embassy told you. We're basically fucked. All of us? Tom asks. All of us. Our women, our legal guardians, they meet every month. They call it a support group, but they're coordinating strategy, sharing information about which of us might try to leave, which ones are getting suspicious, which ones need more. Management? Management, I repeat. That's what we are to them, assets to be managed. The lawyer said there have been cases where the women have accused their dependents of elder abuse or mental incompetence to prevent them from leaving. Oliver continues, once you're branded as mentally unfit, you can't make legal decisions for yourself. So we're trapped, Tom says, unless we're willing to lose everything and start over with nothing. I look around the table. These men are in their late 50s and 60s. Starting over isn't just difficult, it's potentially impossible. I'm leaving, I say. They stare at me. Dale, you can't, Tom says. You'll lose everything. I've already lost everything. I just didn't know it yet. But your money, I'll figure it out. I'd rather be broke and free than comfortable and owned. Oliver shakes his head. You're making a mistake. These women, they're not evil. They're just trying to survive, and they do take care of us. They take care of us the way you take care of a pet, I say. With love, maybe, but also with control. What's the difference? Tom asks. We're all getting old anyway. At least here we have someone who cares about us. The difference is choice, I say. The difference is dignity. But I can see it in their faces. They're not leaving. The cage might be decorated with affection and home-cooked meals, but it's still comfortable enough that they'd rather stay. I start liquidating what I can without Amporn noticing, small amounts from the ATM every day, selling a few personal items. It's not much, but it might be enough to get me home and survive until I can figure out my next step. I'm 62 years old, about to return to Seattle with less money than when I left, but at least I'll return as myself, not as someone's dependent. The night before I plan to leave, Amporn confronts me in the kitchen. "You're planning something," she says. "What makes you think that?" "Because I know you, and I know when my dependents are getting ideas." "Your dependents." Poor choice of words. "My family." "Amporn, do you love me?" She's quiet for a long time. "I care about you very much." "That's not what I asked." "Love is a complicated word, Dale. I love that you make me feel safe. I love that you appreciate what I do for you. I love that you don't judge my English or my background. But do you love me?" "I love the life we built together." "That's not the same thing." "Maybe not, but it's more honest than what most couples have." She's right about that. My marriage back in Seattle was built on much less honest foundations, but at least it was built on equal ground. "I'm leaving tomorrow," I tell her. Her face doesn't change. "No, you're not." "Yes, I am." "Dale, if you leave, I will report that you threatened me, that you tried to steal money from my accounts, that you became violent and unstable. None of that is true. Doesn't matter. Thai police will believe Thai woman over angry foreign man. You'll be arrested at airport." "You'd do that? To protect myself?" "Yes." "From what?" "I'm not threatening you." "From losing my income, from losing my security, from having to start over with new man who might not be as kind as you. So this is just about money. This is about survival, Dale, for both of us." She sits down across from me. "You think you can go back to Seattle and be happy? You think they want 62-year-old divorced man with no savings? You think America will be kinder to you than I have been?" "Maybe not, but it'll be my choice to be miserable." "That stupid choice." "It's my choice to make." She stares at me for a long time, then she nods slowly. "Okay, you want to leave. I make it easy for you. I withdraw sponsorship tonight. You have 48 hours to get out of Thailand. But remember, you can never come back. And if you try to take money that doesn't belong to you, I will have you arrested." "What money belongs to me?" "Whatever you brought from America, nothing more. I've been putting money into our joint accounts for 8 months. Our accounts, joint accounts, that's joint money." I realize she's been planning for this conversation. She knows exactly how much leverage she has, exactly how far she can push. "Fine," I say. "I'll leave with what's mine." "Good. I call taxi for you tomorrow morning." "Amporn?" "Yes?" "Do you feel anything about this? Any regret?" She thinks about it. "I feel sad that you would rather be alone than be loved. I'd rather be free than be owned." "Same thing," she says. Different words. The flight back to Seattle is the longest 13 hours of my life. I'm carrying one suitcase and about $400 in cash. Everything else, my furniture, my clothes, 8 months of savings, stays in Bangkok. I'm returning to a country I left because I couldn't afford to live there, with even less money than when I departed. But I can breathe. For the first time in months, I can breathe without someone monitoring my air supply. The apartment I find in Tacoma is tiny and depressing. My pension barely covers rent and food. I get a part-time job at Home Depot, helping other old men find the tools they need to fix things that are breaking around them. It's not glamorous, but it's honest work for honest pay. Sometimes I think about Bangkok, about Amporn, about whether the other guys are still there, still playing house with their legal guardians. I wonder if they're happy. I wonder if happiness, achieved through deception, is still happiness. I get an email from Tom about 6 months after I leave. "Oliver tried to leave last month," he writes. "Niran had him detained for psychiatric evaluation. He's back home now on medication for depression and anxiety. Says it's better to be medicated and managed than free and alone." Maybe he's right. Maybe I'm the crazy one for choosing struggle over security, loneliness over companionship. Maybe love and control aren't opposites, but different points on the same spectrum. But late at night, when I'm eating ramen noodles in my studio apartment and listening to the rain against my window, I remember what it felt like to discover those adoption papers, to realize that every kindness had strings attached, every gesture of love came with a price tag. I think about dependency, how it starts with gratitude and ends with surrender, How easy it is to confuse being cared for with being loved. How comfortable a cage can become when someone else holds the keys. Amporn was right about one thing. America isn't particularly kind to old men with no savings and no prospects. But America doesn't require me to be anyone's dependent to survive. Here, I can fail on my own terms. I can struggle with dignity and tact. Some nights I dream about Bangkok, about the smell of street food and the sound of Amporn humming in the kitchen, about what it felt like to be wanted, even if it wasn't the kind of wanting I thought it was. But I always wake up in my own bed, in my own apartment, making my own choices, even when those choices lead to loneliness and uncertainty, because I learned the difference between being loved and being useful, between being chosen and being managed. I learned that dependency, no matter how gentle, is still dependency, that control, no matter how caring, is still control, and that sometimes the price of comfort is everything that makes you who you are. I'm 63 now, poorer, lonelier, and probably less happy than I was in Bangkok. But I'm free in a way I forgot was possible. Free to make mistakes, free to fail, free to choose my own version of misery over someone else's version of happiness. And that freedom, difficult as it is, feels more like love than anything I experienced in paradise.